In this video, we're going to write the equation in standard form of an ellipse centered at the origin. It says, what is the standard form equation of the ellipse that has vertices 0 plus or minus 8 and foci 0 plus or minus 2? Now, they tell us that the vertices 0 plus or minus 8, that kind of tells us exactly what this ellipse looks like. So we have a vertical ellipse. So vertical orientation ellipse, and the major axes is running vertically here. This coordinate right here would be 0, -8. This coordinate right here would be 0, 8. And then we have, obviously it says centered at the origin, so this is 0, 0 in here. And then we would have two foci, and the foci would be 1, 2. One foci would be right there, and the other one would be here. So these are the foci. Now to write the equation, because I know it's a vertical ellipse, the equation is going to be x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared is equal to 1. And I wrote it this way because my a value, or my y-axis here, is larger than the b value, which is on the x-axis. So we're going to say that we know a has to be greater than b here. And then we're going to use these vertices, plus or minus 8. So this would stand for our a value here. So we can say that a squared, well, plus and minus 8 would just be a. So we can say that a is equal to 8 and a is equal to -8. But if I take and I square either of those, I get 64. So a squared is 64. Right? If I were to square either one of these, I end up with 64. So I know what a squared is. A squared is 64. Now if you remember, the foci equation to find foci is c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. And all I need to find now, because I have a squared, I know this is 64, I just need to find b squared. So I can go ahead and use c squared, which is, that'd be just 2 squared. So we're going to say 2 or -2, however you want to write that, squared. It doesn't matter because we're going to square it and it's going to be positive. Is going to equal 64 minus b squared. So then I'm going to solve for b squared here. I get 4 equals 64 minus b squared. I subtract the 64, I get -60 equals -b squared. I get rid of the negatives by dividing by a negative, I get 60 equals b squared. And then I take the square root and I end up with square root of 60 is equal to b. And actually I didn't even need to go that far. So I'm just going to kind of like ignore this. I got b squared equals 60. That's all I needed was b squared to write the equation. So I get x squared over 60 plus y squared over 64 is equal to 1. And this is the equation for this ellipse here. And that's our first option up there.